Time is just a subjective perception. It's just something that we as humans can feel, but we can only feel this while we are aware of our physical boundaries. Have you ever noticed that ignorant people never seem to be conscious of time? They just do things that other people do, and they might have a sense of time. They might feel as if they have a sense of time. But looking at them from an advanced perspective, all they do is they just constantly waste time with all sorts of distractions, right? So if they allow themselves to waste their whole life with distractions and other distractions, the point is they have no sense over time, right? One becomes more subjective the more awakened they become, because the more ignorant one is, the more identified they are with ideas that do not represent them and things which are outside of them. Because everything that you know comes from the outside. When you were born a nothing, don't forget this, and you will die a nothing. All your titles are just meaning to your ego. The point is, you are born out of dust, and to dust you shall return, as the ancients would say. Now, when it comes to time, the time is perceived differently, right? Because if you are in this physical body, right, physicality is a border, right? It is a limitation in a way. Everything that is physical has a time. So the point is, if you live inside a physical body, you also will perceive time in a certain specific way. But obviously, when you become more aware of things in life, you will create units of time so that you can correlate your life better through it. But if you become trapped by meaning, you will become a slave of time. Look at all the ignorant people. They always rush nowhere. They are always in a hurry to reach nowhere. So basically, they are slaves of a concept, right? They're not conscious of time the way they should. Let's take into account the machine, right? A computer. A computer, a laptop, or your mobile phone. These are all machines, even your washing machine. But you usually use your laptop, your mobile phone, and your computer far more than your washing machine or any other machine in your house. Now, when you use your computer and your phone and your laptop, right, these are machines. A machine simply functions by frames, right? It doesn't function by seconds, it functions by frames. Now, a frame is basically a millisecond, and a machine, in order to function, each and every millisecond, it has to perform a certain code or a set of codes, or simply wait, because each code lasts a certain number of frames and then there is a wait time till the next bunch of code triggers, right? So a machine is 1,000 times more vibrant than you, because while you have spent 1 second of time most likely not having done much, because, well, to us 1 second is barely any moment of time, to a machine that is a bustling period of life. And if you keep a machine active for one whole hour, basically 3,060 seconds you have in your life, right? But to a machine it's 3,600,000 frames, right? So it is 1,000 times more seconds, right? In which it constantly has to do things. Now, in that time, your body does the same amount of things, right? All the computations that your brain has to perform, right? Each and every thing that happens in your body, right? Each and every one of your cells and, your organs and your tissues and, well, also the brain, right? All the unconscious mechanics that, the body has to perceive, right? Has to go through. All of these will always surpass any, human-made machine, because the machine is meant to, function similar to a physical, flesh and blood body, right? Because what is a physical body? It is an amalgamation of processes that go on in parallel, right? Creating the integrity of one single unit, right? And, well, a machine is basically the same thing. While it doesn't have cells, it definitely has parallel processes that also ensure the perfect running of a single unit, right? By processes running in communion, because communion is the most powerful thing in the universe. Now, when it comes to a machine, well, if you take care of it and you use it wisely, a machine may live for 5 years, let's say, right? It can go as long as 10 years maybe, but let's say it lives 5 years. The point is, in those 5 years, there is technically a certain amount of seconds. In 5 years, you can achieve a lot of things, and well, the more aware you are of things, the more aware you are of your own energies, you will perceive time in a different way, and obviously you will accomplish more or less things. If you're ignorant and you don't eat well, you don't sleep well, those 5 years will feel probably sluggish, but being ignorant, you won't feel how fast they will pass by you. If you are lively and you live life to the fullest, those 5 years to you will feel as if they passed in a blink of a second, right? To an ignorant, they don't have, ignorance don't have perception of time because they feel that, they have this illusion that they live endlessly, right? To a machine, time will be the same because even if it lives 5 years or one single month, a machine performs the same code each and every second. So, for a machine, in order to perform its life, it has to perform the same code each and every second. So the point is, 1 second to them would equate around 1,000 seconds of ours, because they have to perform code in frames. So 1,000 frames in a second means 1,000 times a lengthier time, right? So if a machine would live for 5 of our years, in its own perception, it would live around 5,000 years, right? Think at the same time at a fly. A fly lives for several days. It may live probably as much as a few weeks, probably a month, a few months. I'm not conscious of how lengthy their lifespan is. But even if it lives for a few months, right? Let's say that its entire lifespan is a few weeks. In a few weeks, you may not achieve much in your life, right? And again, depending on the scale of consciousness and awareness that you have, you will achieve more or less things, and you will feel how that time flies based on your emotions as well. But to a fly, it has achieved its full lifespan in that it's been a cub, it has grown into an adult, it even laid eggs and, perpetuated its species. Even if it lives its full life, the point is, time flies for everyone. But it is not time that flies. This is the grand illusion of the mind. It is not time that flies. Time basically doesn't exist. What flies is your life force. Imagine your physicality like a balloon. When you have a balloon, you fill it with air. That is how you are when you are born. Now, that balloon is slowly losing part of its air. And, well, if you don't take care of your physicality, it's like you're drilling a few holes, and a few extra holes won't necessarily burst the balloon unless that means, like you're suddenly killing your body, be it through an accident, be it through suicide or whatever, but those little holes will just allow life to slip out much faster, right? Because technically, what is a balloon? Well, a balloon is nothing else than an inflatable material. But if the balloon is not inflated, it basically doesn't have any importance to you, right? So when you inflate it, well, it is just like the physical life in your body, right? A body that doesn't have any physical energy left, any life energy left in it, is what we call a dead body. Now, a dead body doesn't have much of a use, right? It is just a dead body. Now, obviously, you can use it just like, the pharmaceutical and, the fashion industries both use, dead fetuses because, well, a lot of their products are done from different substances that you can find in the physical body of dead people. But, well, let's not dive into the macabre things and aspects of a sick society. But the point is, in life, your life energy is what is dripping away. It is slowly sipping away. It's not time. Time is just a construct that we have created. But time is simply irrelevant, because you don't know how much of it you have. That is why you shouldn't focus too much on astrology or other divination factors. Divination sciences, they have a purpose of telling you how certain energies will perform, because energies will always perform, and the point is they will have a certain influence. The more ignorant a certain person is, the higher the influence of those is. When you see conscious people, it is very hard to predict the next 5 moves that they will do, let alone things that they might do in, and also accomplish in 1 or 2 years, right? Let alone 10 or 20 years. So the point about time is, don't focus too much on it. Just know that your life is limited. One day you will simply leave this physical body, because the point is, you have inhabited this physical body with a certain amount of energy. The way you behave with your body, the way you take care of your body, will simply leave a scar on it, or will simply leave less scars on it. Your lifespan will depend on how you take care of the physical body, because your lifespan is by your DNA decided to be a certain amount of time. Taking care of your body well may actually extend that time by breathing correctly, eating correctly, keeping your body's geometry correct, and more other things. If you don't take care of those things, your lifespan can actually be reduced in a way, because basically when you create friction in life, friction means a shortening of a certain process, right? If a machine has friction in it, it will die much faster, right? Same with the physical body. And with literally everything which is physical. Because physical means that it has energy, right? Energy which is compacted into a structure. Now, when it comes to time, time, remember, that is just a concept. We have created time, and just like any bit of meaning, we should not allow ourselves to become slaves of the meaning we have created, because if we become slaves of the meaning we have created, that meaning will become far more important than creation itself. And when that happens, you're basically dead, because spending your time imagining things and worshipping imaginary things means that you're technically dead. If you do not live in reality as it is, well, living in fantasy worlds can be quite problematic. Now, when you imagine such things and you use those for creative purposes, that is a different thing. But when your whole life is aligned to a lie, because using meaning in a wrong way will always mean a lie, right? Because it means living life outside of the reality that we are in. When that happens, you're technically a lost cause. All this being said, you are appreciated, take care of yourselves, Ferenc Board signing out.